ahead and try to get a lower payment there, or more of a down payment to get a lower. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Do VAs get special interest rates, or is it pretty much the same as anybody?
The VA is going to be, the interest rates are going to be basically the same as FHA.
Same
Okay.
as FHA, okay.
You know, like today's rate is around 4.75 fixed. Okay, so I think VA and FHA rates are typically maybe just a touch better than conventional rates right now. Okay, so I mean the rates on those programs are very good. Okay, but they're not going to get any other benefit as far as rates.
Okay.
Okay, and the VA makes sure and points out that the VA does not set the interest rate; the lender does. The VA simply guarantees the loan. Okay, you still got to meet the parameters of the lender. Okay. Any questions on VA loans?
It's a small one.
How about when one of the things that VA protects you on is their appraisers. Appraisals have to go out and they appraise the house, and if it doesn't appraise, you can't get the loan. Very similar to FHA.
Right.
But that's a concern that a lot of people have in a market where values have been dropping. So
right.
There's a lot of.
And I see more problems with appraisals on conventional loans than I do VA and FHA. Okay? No, I mean, not on value. You know, FHA will sometimes beat you up on fix this, fix that before we'll approve it. Condition, okay? Conventional loans don't do that. Okay? But I have seen more problems with conventional appraisals than I have with FHA and VA. Okay? So don't be afraid of an FHA transaction because you're worried about a declining market. Because if it's a declining market, you're going to have the exact same problem with a conventional loan as you are with an FHA. Okay, but the problem with conventional loans is that if you're not putting 20% down, then you're dealing with private mortgage insurance companies, and they hate declining markets. Okay, they will beat up your appraisal, and more than likely they will turn the loan down. Okay, they're the ones that have the final say. Okay, so I would lean more towards FHA transaction than a conventional transaction in a market that you think is a little bit suspect. Okay, and that's just my experience from dealing with private mortgage insurance companies. Okay?
Interesting. I like that.
Cool.
This is the second one, thank you.
Okay? Any questions on VA transactions?
Think here for a second. VAs, when you write your contracts, you got to remember you got to sign your financing addendum. As an agent, if you work with both the seller and the buyer, you sign both portions of the certification.
Any type of government loan, you're going to have to sign that middle section within the financing addendum.
The agent does?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Any type of government financing, FHA, VA, USDA, we as agents have to sign, the appropriate side. If it's a direct transaction, then we sign both sides. But yeah, we've got to sign that.
And they also have the FHA amendatory language that a lot of lenders come out and have you sign.
Right.
In addition to signing the FHA certification.
The FHA mandatory clause is basically an additional form that if you guys don't have in your contract, I'll provide for you. That basically says that there are no outside agreements, and that everything that is going on with the transaction is contained within the contract. Okay.
And this comes into play especially with personal property. If you have like a refrigerator or something that is going to be left behind, the seller, the buyer negotiated it in the contract. Well, it has to be taken out of the contract. It's got to go on a personal property addendum, and it has to be left at no value, because when the appraiser comes out to appraise that house, whatever is left behind, a refrigerator or a stove or whatever, they will place no value on it, and they will not consider it as part of the value of the house. So you have to remove it from the contract. Right. And you do that through a personal property addendum or amendment.
Underwriters don't like to see any kind of personal property on contracts, really for any type of loan, as far as giving value to and part of the transaction. Okay, it's considered a seller concession, and if it's significant, then we'll just have to take it right off the purchase price. Okay, but that's probably that discussion could last a while, so we
Yeah.
won't really get into that.
And a spouse of a deceased veteran can get this loan,
A
correct?
spouse of a deceased veteran can get a VA loan as well. Okay.
And then I have another.
But, and also understand that if, on a VA loan, you have to be married, can't just be boyfriend, girlfriend. Okay, the veteran and his girlfriend cannot get on a VA loan together. Okay? So that's something to think about when it comes to qualifying. I've had a couple times to switch VA to FHA because of qualifying purposes. Okay?
What about if they're dishonorably discharged? Have you ever had that?
Dishonorably discharged, I haven't had to deal with that yet, because
Yeah.
those people typically aren't buying homes. I know, I don't know.
I was just wondering.
I honestly don't know the answer to that question, but I imagine they would probably have a tough time getting a VA guarantee.
Sorry, Corey.
Brad was curious. He got kicked out the first week.
Yeah.
That's it. No.
Okay, moving on to the Home Path program, and this is a relatively new program. Okay, there's two type of Home Path programs, but basically I'm going to explain what Home Path is. Fannie Mae came up with this program about a year ago, and the program is basically designed for all their homes that they have in foreclosure pool. They want to get rid of, obviously. They want off their books, and the way they did that is they made financing easier for people who bought a Home Path home than if you're just buying a resale. Okay?
Well, I think the reason for that, to add what Scott's saying, is that a lot of foreclosures out there, I mean, we've seen it, those agents that have been working out there, we've seen some foreclosures, and they are in rough shape, right?
Right.
No lender will send their appraiser out there and approve. They're not going to give somebody $100,000 to go buy a turd. You know, something that's been beat up and destroyed. They're just not going to do it.
Right.
I mean, if I'm a bank and you're coming to me asking me for money, and you want me to pay money for that?
Right.
No way.
You're not gonna do it.
Not going to do it. I'll lend you money if it's fixed up. You know. So what is your option as a buyer? You can't pay cash for it. Nobody will lend you money for it. So now, if I'm Fannie Mae or Fannie Mae, and I've got all these properties that are destroyed, and nobody can buy them because no other lenders out there will give money to a buyer to go buy this. I have to come up with my own loan program.
Well,
We're
and
gonna-
that makes sense, but here it says it must be in moving
Right.
condition. Well, the
But
ones
they-
I've
but they-
seen are not in moving
Yeah, a lot of them
But
aren't.
that's what we're going to talk about.
But that's
Right,
part of the
moving,
loan.
moving condition, basically what we have to do, there's no appraisal, okay? It's whatever Fannie Mae states the price is the value of the home, okay? So let's say if Fannie Mae has this value at $175, okay? And you still can negotiate, a sale, but that's the value, okay? Must be in moving condition. Okay, that's the tricky one, okay? You have to have a home inspector go out and do an inspection on the home, okay?
Who does?
The
The
buyer.
buyer?
Yes.
The buyer
If
has
there
to.
is,
They have
suppose,
to?
wire, if there's
Mold.
safety issues, mold, those kind of things, this loan will not get approved. If there's hideous carpet and
Holes in the wall.
Okay, well,
cabinets
like
that
I
are-
looked at the one, or I showed one that, like, the basement walls are coming in and there's huge cracks in the floor. I mean, obviously major structural
right,
problems.
that is not for your Fannie Mae.
It was a Fannie Mae home path
Okay.
with a Fannie Mae
with renovation.
renovation.
Okay, that's
Okay.
the other. That is not this program. There's two.
Okay.
That's what I was going to get to. There's two different programs, and that's probably the one.
That's what I was talking about.
There's
so I
Home
jumped
Path.
ahead, I apologize.
No, that's okay. There's Home Path, and if you go on, a great resource for this is, and I put it on there, is homepath.com. Okay, down there towards the bottom, you want to highlight that. Okay, that's going to give resources to you, the realtor, to go ahead and. Number one, you can find all Home Path homes through their search engine there. You can find out who qualifies and who doesn't. Okay. The Home Path renovation. Home Path renovation is when you find a home that's on the Home Path that needs work. Okay, which is going to be the majority of them.
And so they say it qualifies for renovation.
Right.
Okay.
Now,
Right.
here's the thing with Home Path renovation. I haven't found, but maybe, and you can look on the website and find out, there's maybe one or two lenders in this area who do that program. And I haven't heard of either one. Okay? Honestly, I don't know anybody who does those programs So keep that in mind when you're trying to qualify for somebody for that.